After very nice lectures by two of the senior consultant cardiologists, my job been made very easy. Now we have already had that we are a number of trials. Orion 1 to almost 11 trials have been actually presented by Dr. Shashikant. But so far of all these trials, we never had any outcome trial. The outcome trial is not there. CVOT outcome trial is not there. So we have Orion 4 trial, which is going on, which is a CVOT outcome trial. The results are not yet out. But of course, we also have to have more data with regards to what you call whether the reduction in the LDL cholesterol that you are achieving with inclisiran is going to be fruitful in reducing this CB outcomes, that is the MACE, major adverse cardiovascular events. So now we have Victorian 2 and 1 as well, which is going on trials. The CB outcome trials. Number one, Victorian 2 trial is one is a secondary prevention, where the patients have established cardiovascular disease in them. And then we are also looking at this particular trial with regards to not only 3-point MACE, but also 4-point MACE. The 4-point MACE includes the peripheral vascular disease as well. We know that patients who have got atherosclerotic vascular disease, if they have multiple, areas of atherosclerosis like cerebrovascular, peripheral, and cardiovascular, then the events are much more in them, and the mortality is much more. So this is going to be 3-point MACE and a 4-point MACE. It's a global, study, including India is one of the participants in the global study. Now, Victorian 1 trial is primary prevention, where there is high-risk individuals with no established cardiovascular disease is being studied in this. Again, we have the same 3-point MACE as well as 4-point MACE that we are going to study in them. Now, we are then the next thing that we comes to is whether we have, if you remember with the monoclonal antibodies that if you see that PCSK9 inhibitors, if you look at that, we have what is the Huygens trial where they have shown it is possible to make the plaque regress by endovascular studies. So imaging studies have shown it is possible to reduce the percentage atheroma of the plaque and also to turn the patients with a kind of malignant plaques into not so very vulnerable plaques by increasing their fibrous cap thickness and reducing the monocytes infiltration there, and also decreasing inflammation in the plaques, and also decreasing the percentage of lipid in the plaque. That's what we have seen in Huygens trial, and it was possible to see the making a vulnerable plaque, non-vulnerable plaque, and also shrinking the atheroma. But the same thing we would like to also see with the inclisiran, whether it's possible by looking at what we call the atheroma and the vascular tree of the coronaries. And here we are seeing the percentage in the total coronary atheroma by decreasing the volume and low attenuation plaque volume as evaluated by CT angio as well. So in CT angio, what is called as there is what is called as the low attenuation. The low attenuation is seen in those patients where you find the percentage of the lipids is decreased. And if the percentage of lipid decrease, then of course attenuation also becomes changed in this the plaques. Therefore, we are looking at not only the characteristics of the plaque, but also looking at the volume of the plaque which is there in the coronaries, whether it's possible to see that the atheroma can be reduced in the coronary tree, thereby showing that atherosclerosis can be reversed by drastic reduction in the LDL cholesterol. So what are the guidelines that are recommended in inclisiran? What about the various what you call societies that are recommending? Now in CSI in India, we have recommended that in 2023 that patients who have got a high risk individual, like ACS we want less than 55. At the same time, we are going below than 40 in this many of times, even below than 30 in those patients because very high risk individuals. And for that to achieve, major of the patient may not achieve with statin alone. We need to have a combination therapy with non-statin drugs as well, including bempedoic acid and also ezetimibe. in spite of using these 3 drugs, still there is possible that they may not achieve the required requisite of reduction in the LDL cholesterol less than 30. So it is this kind of patients who require to use molecules like inclisiran, which actually can help us in reducing the LDL cholesterol to target levels. Nice, also shows in 2022 that to add inclisiran in those patients who fail to achieve the maximum requisite reduction of LDL cholesterol. ACC expert consensus also shows the same thing, that inclusion should be considered in those people who fail to achieve the target lowering of LDL cholesterol. Then this is Association of British Society of Clinical Diabetologists, and also United Kingdom Kidney Association also recommends use of inclisiran in those patients who are high risk nature, where LDL cholesterol failed to be reduced with conventional high dose statin and additional therapies. And then of course the standard of care of diabetes 2024 also recommends the same thing. Now coming to the statin therapy, who are these people? We actually ACC 2025 guidelines show that use of this inclisiran. This inclisiran should be considered all these patients where we fail to achieve LDL cholesterol reduction with additional therapy along with high dose statins like ezetimibe or bempedoic acid, or there is a statin intolerance. You must put them to inclisiran to achieve the LDL cholesterol lowering. Now there are some patients, despite the fact the patients are actually not achieving the goals. So what do you do in this kind of patients? I'll give an example of 3 different kind of individuals. Number young man, you see here, onto our left side, this gentleman is employed in a software company who requires to be traveling quite often. Unfortunately, this gentleman has been using atorvastatin high dose, that is 80 milligrams ezetimibe. Still, his LDL cholesterol is not achieved to be reduced to less than 55, and then this patient has a LPA levels around 32, slightly above what is recommended is 30, and he misses medications due to this hectic nature of his work. He has to travel quite often. So what do we do in them? Number 1. Number 2, a middle-aged man, again, he underwent PCI, and then he has rosuvastatin high dose, ezetimibe. LDL cholesterol is still very high, 145. A current LPA levels are 34. And you find that this patient be having 2 drugs, that is ezetimibe for 10 milligrams and rosuvastatin, still 145. Even if you add bempedoic acid in him, it will not come down to less than 55 in this individual. Therefore, he requires definitely additional management. And he often forgets to take multiple medications because a lot of medications have been given. Unfortunately, most patients who have got CAD, who are older age groups, do have other comorbidities which demand a lot of administration of several drugs, like not only the drugs for the coronary disease, but also diabetes, but also to hypertension, etc., etc. The third example is a lady who has been taking avlokamab and rosuvastatin and bempedoic acid, and then this lady finds it difficult to comply with the multiple dosing of the medications. You know that when you are taking avlokamab or elrocamab, they have to be taken every 15 days, and each dose costs about 20,000 to 21,000 rupees every 15 days, and you take almost like 2 doses per month into 12. That's almost like comes to about 24, which is very expensive, and then it is headache to take every 15 days an injection like that. So what do you do about all these things? So if you look at all these cases, number 1, the case young man who has been going around a number of places traveling because of his job demands so. So this gentleman probably will be having a much better ease of taking a drug which can not only reduce the LDL cholesterol to less than 60, less than 55, at the same time he has to take only once in 6 months. Similarly, the second case where you find this middle-aged man with high-risk nature who has not been achieving LDL cholesterol reduction, if he takes again inclisiran once in 6 months, it is possible for him to stick to the treatment without missing any doses. And then the third lady who has been already taking avlokamab, rosuvastatin, bempedoic acid, where she finds it difficult to adhere to the treatment, every 15 days an injection, perhaps she'll have a much better relief when you administer a drug once in 6 months instead of every 15 days. So the treatment benefit that offered Vinclizan in very high-risk ASCVD patients offer about 50% effective and sustained reduction in LDL cholesterol, convenience of 2 doses a year, and potential to enhance adherence in these people, well tolerated because of the safety profile. And then we have now data that is available almost like close to about 6.8 years with this drug, which showing that very safe, very good safety profile of this drug particular agent. So whatever the real world evidence in inclisiran, we have the worldwide evidence that is available from multiple countries, from Italy, UK, Middle Eastern countries, and then China, etc. All of this data, simplifying this particular slide, which is very busy slide, shows that majority of the patients, they have achieved a reduction of LDL cholesterol anywhere between 49% to almost 57%. And that is what we see universally in the entire population, no matter what kind of race we are dealing with. Similarly, the rest of the Europe also, we find that there is a significant decrease of LDL cholesterol in patients who are using this drug on the top of high-dose statin. And then, of course, we have the data that's from United States, which has data for 450 patients, CVD patients with maximum tolerated dose of statins and not achieving LDL cholesterol reduction. Here, 11 months duration of this therapy, they have found a sustained reduction of LDL cholesterol by almost like 60%. And then also we see that meta-analysis of number of patients with Elrod et al., who also showed in about 1,454 patients a reduction of LDL cholesterol by 43% in this group of patients which he has analyzed. The group of patients were from UK, Germany, Netherlands, UAE, Israel, and then Italy and the USA as well. Now, when you give this drug, inclisiran, as Dr. Shashikant is pointing out, this drug, once the subcutaneous is given, within about 24 hours, it is not detected in the blood. It just goes into the liver. Its site of action is the liver. It doesn't have off-site action at all. Therefore, no question of having any kind of off-target effect of this drug. So the drug acts, it does actually act immediately, but it acts by reduction in the production of PCSK9. So it takes some time for the PCSK9 to be reduced. Therefore, it is not immediate action. Therefore, about by 7 days, it increases by 29%. But almost like 1 month, it's about 57%. So it nearly takes about a month time for it to have maximum action. However, its action starts almost by 7 days, producing 29%. And the action which is sustained, it tends to what you call decrease the LDL cholesterol in sustained way at the end of 3 months. And when you have another injection at 3 months, the potency of the drug is much more enhanced, and you have a much more sustained decrease of LDL cholesterol. And then at this once in 6 months, if we give the drug tends to decrease LDL cholesterol to almost like in a sustained way more than 50% reduction. Now, when you have a patient in India, what we have seen is that after giving the first injection, we are seeing at the end of 3 months, the LDL cholesterol is so low that we are skipping the second injection. In fact, we are going directly to 6 months. So its effect is somehow very, very pronounced among Indian population. And I find that at the end of 3 months, 4 months, we are finding that this drug need not be repeated 3 months. We can directly go to 6 months. The reason why we are doing it is the cost. Initially, the cost was so high, we are trying to avoid 3 months dose and seeing whether how the LDL cholesterol is sustaining itself low or not. But surprisingly, to our surprise, that even at the end of 4 months, 5 months, they remained low, so that we could actually avoid the 3 month dose, slightly going to the 6 months dose. So, the global trend, is again real world settings also. Inclisiran is quite, satisfactory in India also. We have a number of papers from Lucknow, Chennai, Telangana, and Bangalore, and then in Chennai as well. All these places we have find that the inclisiran has been very effective decreasing LDL cholesterol, especially in Indian subcontinent. So inclisiran demonstrated a favorable safety profile across the entire patient cohort. There is no treatment discontinuation because side effects, serious treatment treatment-related emergent adverse reactions are very rare, despite the fact the patients were even followed up to 6.8 years worldwide, and there are no adverse effect that have been seen so far. So in summary, rapid sustained reduction of LDL cholesterol takes place with this inclisiran. The maximum effect you see in about 30 days, and then gets sustained when you maintain the dosing. There is no offset effect of this particular drug. And then there's one important thing that we see also, in addition to reduction in LDL cholesterol, you also see about 30% reduction in LPL levels as well. And we know LPL levels, there's no definitive treatment as of now, but at least we have this molecule which produces a kind of at least small effect in reduction in LPL levels. So thank you very much for your patient hearing.